Good afternoon. It's June 23rd at 1:04 p.m. We're here for negotiations between the police union and the city of Pocatello. Good afternoon, Val.
Good afternoon.
Is this everybody who's going to be at your side of the table?
Yes, it is.
This is everyone at our side as well. Our numbers are dwindling.
That's all we need.
That's right. So last time we left, I believe there's 2 open proposals on the table. The big one is obviously pay. And then there was 1 open left from your side on sick leave payout increments. Do you have anything you want to address from past meetings?
No.
Okay. We have a counter proposal to your pay scale. Are you okay for me to go through that now?
Sure.
So this is a multi-part counter proposal. It's a multi-part that must be taken in its entirety. The city is offering it as a package and will not TA any singular part of the offer. The city is offering a 4-year CBA for spanning years 22 through 25. Base pay increases, so this would be to the chart. For fiscal year 22 would be 2.5%. For 23 would be 3%. And for years 24 and 25, it would be a 3.5% adjustment to the scale each of those years. Additionally, we would add 1 step each year to first class, corporal, and sergeant ranks so that there would be 10 steps on the scale. So in 22, we'd add step 7, 23, step 8, 24, step 9, and then in 25, we would add the final step 10. All of those steps would be at 1.5%. The master levels of each rank will be consolidated into the base rank, so there is no loss of pay, there is no loss of seniority. It just is easier movement across the scale without those middle of rank certifications people have to have. That does cause a problem with the budgeting process because we have to manually track and adjust all of those. So this is just easing that. Probationary and introductory periods for all promotions would be 6 months long. Management would have the ability to extend that an additional 6 months if there was a performance problem or something they wanted to address. Employees in introductory periods are not eligible steps and would only receive a step at the fiscal year. There would be no mid-year steps occurring. Any other open items on the table would be withdrawn by both parties. And then I have some examples of what the scale looks like. I know it's kind of hard to see up here. I'll have a handout for you afterward. This is just to kind of walk through some of the basics. So this is our current scale for fiscal year 21. This gray section, these are steps 1 through 3, and then this kind of beigey color on the screen is really a yellow. These steps 4, 5, 6 used to be the master ranks. I just put the color above them so that you could see where we moved those steps to. So this is what we currently have. In 22, a new hire would come in at 48. In 23, they'd come in at 49. First class, 53 to 54, and a sergeant from 70,000 to 73,000. In 24, your new hires at 51, and in 25, your new hires at 53. Your sergeants go from 75.5 to 78. I'm going to take it by rank because sometimes that's a little bit easier to track because your officers usually are within a rank unless they're looking to promote. So this would be your hiring range. This is our current starting point. These would be the 4 years of the contract. So over the span of this year to the end of 25, we would go from 2268 to 2565, which is 47,000 up to 53,000. You're only a 3rd class officer for 1 year. After 1 year, you advance to 2nd class. So instead of 2381 at the end of the contract, they would be at 2693, which is an increase from 49,000 to 56,000. First class, since it is 10 steps, you're going to see steps 1 through 5 on the top and 6 through 10 at the bottom. If you're a first class officer in a step 1, you're currently making 52,000 a year. At the end of step 10, when we add it, they would be up to 68,000. So that would be 10 years of step movements, which I believe was a concern that we're addressing of the unions. Corporal, again, you're at 10 steps. Currently, they're at 59,000, and they max at 65. Under the new chart, they would max at 79. Sergeants currently start at 69 and they max at 76. Under the new chart, they would start at 78 and max at 91. These are hourly employees who are still eligible for overtime. Here's a few examples just so we can see how people progress through the steps. Year one, this is a third class officer, so a new hire. This year they're making $47,000. Next year in fiscal year 22, which is their year two, they'd be a second class officer making $50,000. In year 3, 4, and 5, they'd be first class officers going from $55,000 to $62,000. I'm rounding up by a couple $100. Moving away from just an introductory employee, this would be a current 5-year employee, so they're sitting at a first class officer step 3. So that's this year, and then the 4 years, they would go from $54,642 to $65,590. We've had some recent corporal promotions, so I just wanted to use that as an example. Currently, they're making $59,995 in their first year. In year 5, under this plan, they'd be making $73,000. This is an example of a sergeant who's currently maxed out at $76,000. They would be at the end of the scale by the end of the CBA, and they would be at $91,000. Do you have any questions before I pile a bunch of paperwork on you?
The one slide that said all things on the table would be off the table.
Anything that's TA'd would remain.
Okay.
Any open items would be withdrawn by each party.
Okay, such as the
sick leave.
sick time. Okay.
Yep. I brought you 4 copies. Is one okay, or do you want all 4?
One's probably good.
It's pretty easy to hand these out today. Obviously, you're going to need time to look through the information. We have the Wamazawa conference room available for you to take a caucus in.
Okay. Oh,
Would you like to go to caucus?
Yes, please.
All right, thank you. Welcome back.
Thank you. After consulting,
Sorry.
I'm not sure we're on.
I knew that would get you.
Doors closed, we're on.
After doing some consulting, we've agreed to this counter proposal.
Okay. I even brought a pen. I have no idea what key number this is. You got here.
Might as well, yeah.
Guess I need to wander all over.
See what happens if they just let the 3 of us handle it.
That's right.
Well, I believe that is everything open on the table. I'll work on implementing the changes to the CBA and get a draft over for you to review. And then we'll make sure that's on council agenda for consideration with the budget. So you can get it for your union.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Val.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Jared.